Hey everyone, welcome to the next monthly project. This is number 16 and we're doing Draw This in Your Style. And I decided to go with my Harley Quinn piece. I thought that might be a good example because it's just like a straight shot of her, just a figure. Quite easy to kind of duplicate or to match in your style. So I thought I'd go with that. And this is going to really showcase each of you and really make your style shine. You know, we're going to really be able to put them side by side and compare and see, you know, what your style actually is and how it looks. I want to congratulate the winners of the critiques this month. I've chosen these three to critique. We've got Carl, Jared and Ty. And here's a sneak peek of what I went through in the critiques before and after. And before and after. And I've chosen each for a reason. I think that I can really help in different ways in each and show some good examples and some different techniques in each and every one of these. But we'll get into the critiques soon. First, I would like to get into the general submissions. Okay, I'm excited. Let's get into it. Matt, we're going to start with Matt. Have a look at this. This is awesome. You've done the Suicide Squad Harley Quinn from the latest movie, which is really cool, by the way. I love this. You've got such a good style, and that's just really popping, that is. Especially the way you've done the flowers in the back. That is amazing. Absolutely beautiful. And yeah, you've done the same kind of thing. You've got the same pose, same general kind of pose. And yeah, I really encourage this to kind of, you know, do your own outfit, or you can do whatever you want with it. And you've done that. You've done it all. I can really see your style shine in that one. So yeah, great work, Matt. And next is Jeremy. I love this. I love it because we can really see your style as well. Your style is just shining, we can just see what you're all about, your personality. And you've got just such a nice kind of cartoony style. I really like it. I love your work. And this is looking really good. You've got such nice line work, really nice details in that. I just think this is great. Awesome stuff there, Jeremy. I love it. All right, next up is Sai. I love seeing your work, Sai. I'm very excited to get into it. Another Harley, so you've done a really good match up here, matching the pose, and you've got the one from Suicide Squad, the first movie. That same kind of outfit here, which I really dig. Really loving it. Super crisp work as well, like really clean. Have a look at that. Loving these details, but in the leggings and the tats. You've got some really cool tattoos all over her. Yeah, really liking that, Sai. And this is not your only submission. As always, you've done it again. Have a look at this. 3 more pieces in the 1 month. You just couldn't stop. Good job. I love it. It's always welcome, mate. And these are actually Draw It Again versions as well. So this is from my Ghost Rider, my Batman, and one of my things that I did from Marvel there. And here's Sai's versions. Really cool to see, man. I love these. Look at your Ghost Rider. So cool. Did a really good job on that one, mate. And I like how his hand's up too. You got the hand up there. And those textures, like that burnt texture in the suits and stuff like that. Really, really cool. Solid looking Batman as well. I love how you've done the whole city. You've really done a nice job on that one. And your thing as well. It's nice to see you doing thing. I really like this one. This is cool. Really dynamic. And you've even got your own version of his outfit and his pants and stuff like that. So yeah. Yeah, really nice to see there, Sai. So thank you so much. You're an absolute legend. You're doing so well. Awesome, mate. Thank you. And next up is Daniel. And you've done one from the Suicide Squad movie as well. Harley Quinn with the red dress. Really cool. Very iconic. I can definitely see your style here. It's really nice. I like that face. It looks exactly like Margot Robbie there. I like what you've done with all these extra effects as well. You've got some nice color halftone effects going on. And you've got this really nice cross-hatching going through it as well. Very unique. Very nice style. I like it. Thanks, Daniel. All right, next we've got Romero. And you've done a really cool cowboy style or western style Harley Quinn, which I really love. Love that idea. Such a good spin on things as well. And she really suits that style. Like that. She fits into that world. I love it. So cool. Yeah, nice idea with that too. I like what you've done. Same kind of pose. And I love how you got the rope there, the lasso, instead of the chains. That's such a cool spin on things. Yeah, really nice work. All right, next is Paul. You've done oh, look at this. This is standing out. This is really standing out, this one. And I love the classic Harley Quinn, the Jester suit. I like how she's got the gun there, very that got that humor with the cork stuck in it, and it's, you know, just a bit of a prop gun. I like that. Really cool. Such a nice style, Paul. I love your stuff. You're always killing it. Nice pose too. Very cool pose. I like it. The face, the expression, top-notch stuff there. Yeah, really nice work, Paul. And next is Douglas. Have a look at this. This is insane. So cool. I love your style. You got such a unique style. This is a really good example of you, and it's just screaming Douglas. It's really just, this is you, mate. This is all you. Yeah, I love what you do here, and you're one of those ones, like I keep saying it, but you can just keep zooming in and you just see all these details. They never end, and I like it. I really like that. Yeah, very, very unique stuff. I like the Batman earrings. That's really cool. Yeah, really nice work there. It's nice to see your style shine. And next we've got Jazzood, and I really like how you've done the Joker in here. I had the hyena in there before. I only took it out because the title, I wanted to put the title in there. And I like how you've put the Joker in that same kind of spot there. This really puts a big spin on things. You've got the same kind of pose and the same, she's holding a bat instead of something different. And you've got that classic Harley Quinn outfit, which I really like. I like what you've done. All right, next is Joe, and I like this. This is cool. Another classic Harley Quinn suit with that jester suit. I really love that look. And I like how you've got the playing cards, the Joker cards down there that she's holding, and I really like that. Really cool face. I like your style. You've got a nice cartoony kind of style going on there. Almost like the animated series kind of style. Yeah, nice work, Joe. All right, next we got Chris. This is from the latest movie as well. So you've done the Suicide Squad movie, and she's got the javelin. I love that. I like how she's got the javelin from the movie as well. I like how the starfish dudes they're really coming over and popping out of this whole image here. So that looks really cool. I like the outfit, really nice. I like how you've done the same kind of pose as well, and you've got that over the shoulder. And yeah, your style's really, really coming out here. I like it. Really good work. All right, we got Craig next. I really like this. Have a look at this. It looks like, this could be a good tattoo as well. It's really held together. I also did a version. I hope you don't mind. I wanted to see what this would look like on a white background instead of the black, and I just thought that looks really nice, and it's popping out. So I really like what you've done. I think this is cool. She's really throwing her head back there, having a good laugh. I like that. Nice idea. Really cool suit too. I like the leggings and the way they work. Yeah, nice work, Craig. All right, we got another Craig here. I really like this. This is cool. You've got, similar pose, and you've changed up the colors. She's got you've done a unique take on the suit there. I like what you've done with the background too. You've really got all those color halftone effects popping out there. I like how you've got her tattoo as well. You've got the tattoo from the first movie. So it's must be a bit of a spin on that first movie version of her, which I really like. Really cool. Nice line work too. I like what you've done through the hair and everything through there. Really good. Nice work there, Craig. Awesome. And next we got Virgilio. Sorry if I've said that wrong. Sorry about that. This is really cool. And you've got your own spin on things here, having your style come through. I like what you've done on the belt there. You've got the jester hat on the belt buckle there. Really cool. Got a lot of the ha-ha-has coming up through the background there. Really like the color choices you've got too. Brutal on that bat there. See what you've done with the blood pouring off. Absolutely brutal. And is that that must be the Batman mask she's holding there. Nice work. Really cool. All right, next is Patrick. And you've done a Harley Quinn here. I like your style. This is a really good example as well of styles. You don't really go for much outlines. Like your style is more, you're going for that. It's almost 3D. This actually almost looks like a 3D character, the way you've rendered it. So I'd say it's a little bit more lifelike almost. So that's cool to see. You've got the similar pose as well, very very similar, and nice spin on things. I like how she's got the pins, pulled the pins from the grenades. That's what I mean. Like you're taking this pose and doing your own spin on it. Instead of the chains, she's got the grenade pins, and yeah, I love it. Really good work. All right, and the last one of the general submissions, we've got Obadik. Have a look at this. I like it. Really like this. It's a nice sketch. You've got some really nice proportions there as well. And I really like the face too. You've got a really nice, really cute kind of face. I like it. Yeah, really nice colors as well. I like it. Really nice work there. Thanks for sharing, Obadiah, and everyone else as well. Thank you so much for your submissions. That was awesome. All right, so now we're going to start getting into the critiques. We'll start with Carl. All right, really cool design here, Carl. I reckon this is awesome. I really like your style, and your style's definitely showing. You've got this really cartoony kind of style on it, and I really like that. I think it's really cool, and it works. Really works for this as well, especially for Harley. All right, well, let's get straight into the critique. I've separated the back and Harley herself, so she's separate now. I'd really like to see this kind of back bit lighten her up a little bit more somehow, so I'll just duplicate that and see what happens if even if it was just a bit lighter like that compared to that. I think it would really enhance this a lot more. If I actually make a new layer underneath and put a glow behind her, even like this, like I think that's already, like, look at that ambience, you see? Like, really play up on that neon that you've got. You see that? See how it's kind of really working now? I like that. And then a nice yellow down the bottom. Yeah, I think that's sick. That's really cool. And I just think that works a lot better. I think that you can already see her more. It was just a bit too dark before. Let's have a look. So you see that? Just from a distance, it's all kind of, you know, even though you've got these really nice colors, it's hard to tell her pose, and like you have to look a little bit harder. Do you know what I mean? Whereas if you just make it a little easier on the eye, a little easier to see and understand, just put some nice glows behind her, I think that'll really make this pop out. And I think that's awesome already. All right, so I'll just show you what I've made just now, just as a recommendation on the pose. I changed it a bit so that she's just a little bit more in motion, or it's just a little bit more flow through the body. So before it was like this, and I just thought just a little standing up a little straight, which is fine, and she looks good. She does look really good. But just as a recommendation, I thought maybe if she just had like a little bit more charm, or, you know, that personality of Harley, like really popping out. She's kind of popping her chest out more and her bum out that way. And it's just a little bit more, I don't know what you'd call it really, just a bit more character in her. I'd love to see her leg kind of kicking out as well, as if she's kind of taking a step even. You see, because before was that and that. So just before I did that little leg change. So she's now kicking them out and having a little bit of a strut, a bit of a walk. So it's just adding that little bit more character to it. Okay, so I've just jumped ahead and I've kind of drawn up a bit of a face. Now don't worry, yours is completely fine. And again, like I said before, this is kind of my spin on it, kind of to push you in a direction that might help you. It's just more of a incentive kind of thing. I feel like the face just needs to have a little bit more structure around the eyes, especially just a bit around here. So what I've done is I've gone over and and with the line work, I wanted to mention as well. You see how I kind of have thick? You go quite thick, and then it comes around and it gets a little bit thinner, a bit of volume, so you can have like quite thin on the top of the lip and you go a little thicker underneath, things like that. So I just wanted to kind of point that out, whereas it's kind of the same weight in stroke, in the pen stroke all the way through, and I'd love to see with your work just a little bit more variation. So if we had like a thin top lip and then thicker, things like that, I think would really bump this up like heaps more, and you'd be really enjoying your line work a bit more, I reckon. So just, it really helps tidy it up a little bit, that's all, and it can be more appealing to look at as well. So that's just what I wanted to mention there with the line work, and just with some structure as well. So the eyes, I feel like too many kind of corners that kind of stop and then go the other way. Do you know what I mean? It almost comes across a bit squared off a little bit. And now that's fine, because it might be a part of your style, and it's probably a stylistic choice. I mean, you do it up here as well with the corners and things like that, and that's okay. And one thing I wanted to point out as well with the face is I feel like the rendering was a little too harsh around, just around that part especially. It gets a little dark around there, and through the nose and things like that. And I've mentioned this before, but like with females, I usually like it can be more appealing to have a softer rendering, more subtle, more minimal. So I just wanted to mention that as well. And with the eyes, so just the rendering around the eyes up here. So I feel like it should be inverted. So it should actually be a shadow through the iris in that way, and actually lighter as it gets underneath. I'll show you what I mean. So it should be more like lighter down through here, these parts, and then darker up there. And the reason for that is I did this in my eye tutorial that I did on Patreon, but the reason for that is if I draw the eye at a different angle here and just show you what I mean, that's the iris there. It actually dips in like a dish. So this is how the eye works. It actually dips in like a dish. If I just shade that so you can kind of see. So it's kind of like that. If you're looking at the iris from that angle, it's actually going to be, if the light's coming from this direction or above, it's actually going to be shaded here like a bowl or a dish from the inside, and then the light will catch on that side of it. And then our eyes have this glossy film over the top, so you'll actually get like a nice shine from the light which is dropping down from that direction would hit there. But the inside of the iris is like a dish. Yeah. So I just thought I'd point that out. You can kind of see before the light is in the wrong direction, but you've got the eye shine there. So that tells me that the light source is coming from the left diagonally up. So that means if the light source there with that shine, yeah, we get the shading under there, and then the light catches on the dish underneath. So there we go. I just wanted to point that out. And please, I hope you don't get offended by me redoing the face there. It's not me trying to tell you that it was wrong. Completely fine. I was just trying to show you another option and how we could approach the mouth and the outlines and things like that, and how, you know, a little smoother in some places can really help, especially around the cheek there and stuff like that. And the volume in outlines as well. You see how when I hold the head together with a bolder outline, but then you can actually go nice and thin with some lines on the inside, like the nose. See how I went real minimal with the nose? That's good for females, same with the shading, things like that. So there we go, Carl. I reckon that's probably all we'll need to do on that. I just recommend the pose. Has a little bit more character, a little bit more flow into it, and some adjustments with the face and just line work, things like that. Just recommendations, really. I like how the gun comes out to the side, it flows out to the side a little bit more. All right, let's have a look at the original. So that was before I started, and then now. So we'll just zoom in a little bit. I'll do that again. So the original and then now. And the main thing I would say was that pop in the back to really lighten this up. I feel like it was a little bit dark before. So if we just make that lighter and use those neons, really use them and make the character stand out more, and that'll definitely help a lot more. So yeah, I hope that helps. And I love your work. I think you've done a great job. So yeah, well done. Well done on that one, Carl. Yeah, thanks for your submission. Appreciate it. All right, let's move on to the next critique. This is Jared's submission here. Let's have a look. Let's have a closer look. Look at all these details. So many nice details as well. Yeah, you've got a really cool style. All right, we're going to dive into the critique a bit, and we'll have a bit of a closer look and see what we can do. I really like all the details you've got through the hair. You got a lot of nice details going through there. All right, so first thing that I can notice, I think overall, I think it's probably the background. It's making it harder to look at or to see in a way, you know what I mean? We need to kind of either lighten it up or soften it somehow. I'm just going to try and work it out. That's what it is. I think it was just hard for me to understand what was going on in the background, whether it's an explosion or are they clouds. So I was trying to work it out, and I think it's these zoom kind of glares that you've got. There's too many of them because they're coming from different directions. But you can see there's one that kind of starts here and then zooms out that way. There's one here and it goes that way. There's also one here and it goes out that way. So it's just kind of, it can be a little confusing. I like these explosions up here and the way they look. They look pretty cool. But I think it's these green clouds as well clashing with that purple. It just makes it quite difficult to see. So we need to I think we need to redo a bit of a backdrop. Let's try a few tricks here and there. I'm just going to do a bit of a zoom. So I'm actually doing a radial blur, and I'm going to zoom it right out quite hard actually. Maybe like that. And then I might play around with the filter gallery now that we have that zoom. And here it is here. So that it's, this cutout one is looking kind of cool. We can muck around with that, I reckon, and do something cool. There we go. Now, it might not look that good right now, but what if I just do a levels and lightened it up, so it's lightened up there, but then I'm going to change it to an overlay, and that's going to be above, so that's the blur underneath, and then this is our other one over the top. See, that looks pretty cool already, and you got some nice colors going on. And that's given us a good head start on, you know, getting creative. So I'm going to get maybe just like a nice white or a bright pinkish kind of color, and using like a brush, maybe a grungy brush, maybe like this. And I can start doing some extra kind of these, I like these light glary effects that are coming out. So and you see, by adding these extra effects, which are custom, you know, this is just me brushing over, it's more handmade and more deliberate as well. So it's kind of what you want. You want to make it seem like it's a bit more deliberate and not a filter. So I'm trying to just brush over. Now, one of the last things I want to do is try and make it so that everything behind her is more of an intense white. So now remember, I quite like these explosions that you've got up the back there. So I'm going to grab one of those. I'm just going to do a little color balance just so it's got some nice colors in it. I really want to keep the yellow as it is, but I want the darks to be more of a purple. And there we go. And I'll put another one down the bottom there, just a few color adjustments here and there, and we should be right. There we go. I think that works pretty well. So that was the original. Now, do you see what I mean? It's kind of like the background was just taking the picture down a bit, down a notch. So if we just, I don't know, maybe lightened it up, you know, one kind of burst that goes outwards and reaches out every direction, just the one instead of a bunch of different ones, I think would help a lot. Just keeps it nice and simple. And then I'd probably just, I'm going to move Harley over this way a little bit more. Yeah, there we go. All right, let's move on to the character a little bit more. Actually, I might start by, I'm just going to make a couple of tweaks. Okay, so I've just made some tweaks, just do a few little proportion issues here and there. So if you just have a look, it's kind of, I'm just doing a quick before and after, so you can see, so that's after, so before and after, before and after. And it was mainly just, I felt like her shoulder and things like that, a little bit too muscular through there. So I've kind of taken that down a little bit, which was mainly by smoothing out that top bit. See how there's like the shoulder comes up and around, a bit rounded. So I kind of like put a bit of a corner on there. So I flattened it out and put a corner and straight down. The hairs were just a bit small on both sides. So that one and then that one as well was just a little bit too small before. And just to add a little bit more kind of attitude to the body, I poked out the rib cage more this way. So before it was like that, and after I've kind of pushed it out this way a little bit more, along with the I had to straighten up just that part of the diamond on the boob there. So I just straightened that out as if it's now it's in the right direction, kind of that way. I also tucked in the armpit through here as well. All right, so the first thing that I want to point out with the head is we just need a little bit more of the skull. I've separated some layers here to help. Basically, we just need more head on top. I'll show you. Okay, so I'll just show you what I've done with the hair now. So this is the new hair here. I just wanted to make it, like, give it a bit more life and a bit more volume. So these little, the big ponytails, I think that's what they're called. I'd like to make use of this space up here, and you can get it away from this hammer a bit more as well. So as well, and also they kind of line up with the perspective more. So if her head's going down, like the perspective's across that way, you see you want the joint of that one to be there. The other one should be about the same. Whereas before, that joint's there and this one's much lower, whereas that one's really high. Now, yeah, so that's the hair, and the hair's also a bit bigger as well. I just wanted more skull, like up on the top half of the head. We could even lighten the hair up a bit more, I'd say. So I'm just going to lighten everything up on the hair. Okay, so I'm just going to do a couple of adjustments with the face as well. Okay, so I've just done a bit of a liquefy. So you can see what I've kind of done here. I just thought before, the expression is just almost a little scared in a way. From a distance at first glance, kind of comes across as a little bit frightened, or, you know, that look. So I just wanted to put a little bit more of a kind of attitude in there, I guess. A little bit, bring the eyebrows down more. The mouth as well, I just thought was just a little bit too much movement up through here, and the teeth kind of arch downwards, whereas at this angle we kind of want to have them curl up that way a little bit more, have the other way to go with the jaw. I just made the eyes a little bit bigger and a little bit more lifted up. Now what we can do, oh sorry, I also changed the cheekbones. It was mainly just through here, this part here of the mouth and the jaw, a bit too rounded, so I brought it up, and she's got more of cheekbones and less around here. I think it's the jowls area, so I just fixed that up a bit, and I also brought the ear in a little bit as well. All right, so one more thing I really want to do is just thicken up these eyelashes a fair bit more. I like your thin lines that you've got going through, and that gives you some really nice details. You see what you've been doing through here? Beautiful work on those. I like that cross hatching and all that kind of stuff. So that's working really well for you, and it's good. But when we get to eyelashes, I think we can probably thicken them up a fair bit. You got to think she's probably going to be packing on a fair bit of makeup, especially around her eyelashes, some eyeliner and things like that. So I'm going to pack it in a bit more. There, you see how that's really kind of just amped up those eyes a bunch. So that was before and that's after. So that's really one of the main things I think she needed, was just some really thick, nice eyelashes and bold on top. And that's really helped. Now another thing I just want to show you with teeth, sometimes it can actually work out a lot better when you keep them really simple. So if I just lighten them up so that some of that detail gets lost, I think that'll actually work a lot better for you as well. So before it was that, and now it's that, just by lightening up the teeth. And I may just darken those edges so it's not completely stark white. And I'm just taking the red out of her eyes as well. I know it's probably also deliberate, but I felt like it was almost a bit too bloodshot in a way. The way that there's a bit too much red tones inside of her eyes, so I just lightened them up a bit too. And I reckon with her chin, we could actually probably continue that all the way across. I think that might look all right there. All right, so another thing I want to kind of do is I really feel like I need to kind of lighten up the skin. You see her skin there, because she's always been very pale in the movies and stuff. So I might actually lighten it up even more. It's probably not even that. I'll lighten it just a little bit, like this maybe. But I think it's more the saturation. I might take the saturation out of it, so a little bit, about minus 30%. I feel like that might be a bit better. Yeah, there we go. So before it was that, and now it's that. It's just a little lighter. And I feel like that'll be more Harley. Okay. Now the only other thing that I want to talk about with her is just taking out some of these line details on her arms and stuff like that. I'll show you. Because I feel like it's just a little bit too much. And it can make, like, I'm just fading that one back. You can keep that one a little bit. Certain ones that we need to kind of remove. So this one here, I would like to remove that completely. The neck ones are fine. We kind of want to smooth out the face a bit more, so I'll take some of these out in a certain way. So the ones around the eyes as well, I'm just toning them down, especially these forehead ones here. There we go, that's heaps better. So if you just have a look before and after, so this is one of those cases where I feel like less is probably more, so it's probably going to be better for her. Having them in kind of really makes her more masculine, you know, and too ripped, especially through this arm here and the shoulder, super ripped. But I feel like when you soften that right out, especially through this ab area as well, you can keep the collarbone ones in, things like that. And on the face as well, this could make her look older, having those details on the face. So I've softened those out. Now, I just wanted to do, one of the main things I think that would really make this pop out is I want to do outlines around, like I want to thicken them up. So what I'm doing is I'm duplicating the whole character. I'm going to take the fill down to 0 so that the layer style is the only thing that takes effect. I'm going to chuck a stroke that'll go all the way around. Looks a bit bad right now, but I'm going to fix this and clean it up. Just going to zoom out a bit there, but I'll just show you. So without those thicker outlines on the outside, and then with. So without and then with. But I just want to do a few more around, like tidying up. So I want that cheek, a thicker outline around that cheek right there. I think that'll look really cool. We'll have that hair tucking over. So you see how when I get to these shaded areas, well, they should be shaded because there's hair covering. You know, you can press a little bit harder and go a little bit thicker around here. So straight up through the hair there. And as the hair connects to the head here, we can actually push a little harder as well because it's, you know, the bottom and the base of the hair. It might be a little bit darker there. Then around here. Things like that, you know. And especially with the hair, like here, I like to have a little big line through the middle of that. Now this hair here tucks over, see? So I'm going to press a little harder to like frame it, kind of outline it a bit more. And now you've got variation. You've got these, because you've got these really nice thin details, which are beautiful, by the way. I like them. But the other thing that would just benefit these is some thicker lines to really bold, like hold it together. And that's really all you need on to add to your artwork is just thicker outlines. And then on the outside, as the outlines are thicker on the outside here, right, you know, because I did it the way I did it, it stops there and keeps going that way. But make sure that it just keeps going around. Frame that character as it is, the actual character. Even though you've got this color behind of the hammer, keep going around that shoulder. That's kind of what I'm going to do, you know, pull it all together and frame it. There we go. I'm going to give it just one more thing. I might do a couple of color adjustments on your overall Harley. So I feel like we might just add a little bit more into the purples and the blues. So I'm just pulling it into those a little bit. Okay, and then I'll do a quick levels and lighten that up just a bit. Might bring up the highlights a bit more, give it a nice pop. And then I might even go hue saturation and just bump up that saturation just a little bit, probably about 12, I reckon. There we go, and that's it. That's done. That's probably all I would do to yours. I hope that helps. Let's have a quick look at what we've done here, before and after. So so we started off with this, and remember, it was the background mainly, I feel like, that was bringing it down a bit. So we kind of redid that background as a much lighter version to give it more pop. And then all the other stuff was just a few of those anatomy kind of tweaks, things like that. And she was a bit too ripped, I think, through here as well. We softened those out, lightened up the skin a little bit more and made her more pale. The eyebrows and a few things in the face as well, and just some color adjustments. That hair as well, we added some more volume into the hair as well. So. And just remember, Jared, this is all your work. This is you. Everything that you see here is all you. I've just kind of guided you in a few directions that might help. So, yeah, your work is really good. And you've got a lot of potential. You can just see all the potential here. So, with just a few tweaks, you know, you'll be absolutely killing it. So, yeah, awesome stuff, mate. Okay, let's get on to the next one. This is Ty's submission. How cool is this? This is awesome. I really love your work. You've got such a cool style as well, and this really shows it. You go for this kind of lifelike or realism kind of style. It's almost like a painted realistic kind of style. You did the really cool Psylocke character in our big collab for that other monthly project we did. That was awesome. And you've done another one. This is good. This is awesome. I like it. All right, let's get right into the critique a bit. You've got a lot of blurred areas, which I think might be deliberate by the look of it. See, they're kind of blurred out. And then you've got super crisp, clear stuff, which is good, and it's a cool technique, but I feel like it almost fights against each other. This hand here it should be in the same focus as her head because they're side by side and they're at the same parallel, the same angle. So they should be in focus together. So I feel like that's confusing my mind a little bit when it does that effect, with that blurred effect. Now I know it kind of makes more sense going back if it was blurred out a bit there, but I feel like it's almost a little too blurred out. The outlines, you're starting to put some outlines into your work here, I noticed as well, which I like, and I think that's really good. But they're just like touched in. Do you know what I mean? So everything else is kind of blurred out. It almost, see these parts here. I just wish we had some higher detail. And then you've got these outlines which are super crisp, and then they're against this blurred out painted look, which doesn't have much detailing in it. So they kind of fight against each other. Do you know what I mean? I feel like we need to kind of refine, or we need more focus, because that's the only thing that's lacking in this. Is really it feels a lot out of focus in a lot of areas. So if we just had that refined, it'd be so much better, especially on these bags here. You see how you've got these sharp lines, but then you've got these this painted look that is almost blurred. I hope you don't take offense to any of that, and I really want to try and steer you down the right path, Okay, so I've just separated the hair and the face. There's something going on, and I just wanted to separate them. I feel like that'll help me a lot. And I think it might have something to do with the hairline and the head underneath. I think it's the structure. So I took that off, and I've just adjusted and painted back over where the hair was. So I just want to try and adjust the face a little bit more. There's just some stuff I need to fix. Ah, yes, that's what it was. I think it's the head placement. So you see the neck coming down there. So you see in the original, it's I think the neck kind of comes past here. We kind of want to see some ears too, just kind of. So I'm just going to move the head over that way. I have done some liquify to the face as well. Okay, so I've cut the fringe out. I've also just added some guides in, some lines where I think the fringe might need to go. And what I've done mainly is I've kind of got it coming up and then down. See, have a look with my lines. So I've got it up and then it dips back down. Like, I kind of like that. I want it to fold over a little bit more. But what I'll do basically is rise that up. She needs more forehead. But we also need to get the hair itself, I think, and rise that up too. But I need to do some tweaks first. Okay, there we go. I've fixed up the hair, and I think it was the placement of she needed a little bit more of a forehead, and I felt like the hair before, everything was kind of flat and drooping a little bit too much, if you know what I mean. So I kind of lifted it up, gave it more life. It's okay to have it kind of up and over the bomby knocker handle there, I reckon. Make use of that space, why not? And also the angle of her head, it kind of just made more sense because her head's tilted a little bit, downward a little bit, and she's looking up. And then, so that means she'll have more of the top of her head, and the hair would be angled up a bit more as well. So I kind of changed that a little bit there. So that's what I've just done so far, but the rest, I need to fix the body a bit. I just needed to extend her torso down a bit, so I've kept the top exactly the same, and you can see I've brought the chest down, so she's got more of area in the chest. I feel like it was too squished in the chest area there, so I brought that down to give her a little bit more there, and yeah, I think that works a little bit nicer. So I'll just show you what I did before I made some of these adjustments to the body. So that was before the body was adjusted, and now she needed a little bit more weight, I think, through the top of her, just a bit. And she's holding up this really heavy hammer, so I really needed her shoulder to be lifted a bit more, so a bit more strength in that shoulder, and this one's supporting it nicely. So I had to pull that shoulder in, that hair, I've got to fix that hair there. But yeah, I feel like that's a bit better now. And now I just need to raise the head. Whoops. So I need to raise the head just a little bit more, about there, I think. There we go. Now I'm just starting to refine some areas for you. So just some little bits here and there, like around the arm and the hand. I think the hand was the main thing that I really wanted to kind of put in focus a little bit more. I just think that might help a little bit. A couple of adjustments there on the fingers, that's okay. Yeah, around the arm, just so it's not blending with the background so much. I just wanted to refine that, especially under that armpit there too. I really wanted to kind of get that armpit in. Just refining the muscles a little bit more so you can see like where the collarbone is and things like that, and where the shoulder dips in. A few areas on the face, just a few areas here and there, just a little bit more refining so it's clearer, kind of more in focus in a way. And then yeah, especially around the waist here and the gun belt, a few little details on that just to bring it into focus a little bit more. Alright, so now I'm going to do just a few color adjustments, I think. So my plan is actually to make anything that's red and black and all the clothing pretty much and the hammer. I want to keep them nice and dark and dense. So I'm going to darken them just a little bit. I'll just pull in these shadows more, I reckon, and maybe just give it a little bit more contrast in the lighting. There we go. I think that'll be pretty good. And then I want to get anything that's the skin and the hair and all that and lighten it. And I think that's really going to change everything. Have a look at this. See how this is all popping now. Because she's usually pretty pale. So do you see how that's really improved it a lot more. I really want to kind of lighten up her face a little bit more through here, a little bit overall. Because she's usually she's almost got like paint on her face, you know. There we go. Give her a little bit more of a bit of a light on her nose, and then her cheeks can also have a little bit more of a shine on them as well. There we go, and I'll just put a bit more saturation, I think, through her lips. So really saturate them. There we go. And I might even saturate the hair a little bit too. Really make all those colours just pop, you know. Saturate the hair there. And even the arms here and the clothing. See, I really want to make that quite red, I reckon. Just like that. Do that hand as well, up there. There we go. And I think the background just needs probably just a smidgen more saturation. Cool. All right. There we go, Ty. I reckon that's going to do it. So let's have a look and see what we've done from the start. So back when before we started, it was a bit like this. And you can see what I mean about the contrast and the saturation of her clothes. So that's what we ended up with. So the contrast between her skin tone and her clothing is a lot different now. Whereas before it's just a little faded in, and they're kind of almost matching in tone. Do you know what I mean? Like, see, the tone of the skin is nearly matching the tone of the red there. Not exactly, that's still quite dark, but you want to kind of separate that a fair bit, I think. Just a bit more like this, and I think that's going to make it more stand outish, I should say. And the other part was proportions, things like that, just a couple of things here and there. I kind of made her muscles, her body tone a little bit more refined. So you can see where the muscles kind of stop and start there. Whereas before I felt like it was just a bit soft and a little unsure. And just under the armpit there as well, I really wanted to make sure that armpit was shown, where the muscle stops from the pec and the chest there and joins up. You can actually see the shoulder rising, but it's still quite soft for that feminine look. And her head was just shifted over, and we changed the hair completely pretty much. Lifted it right up, gave it some more volume, and it's a bit wavy through there now. Whereas before it was it was just drooping a little bit for me. So I wanted to kind of raise that up. And I think I lowered her whole torso down more. So her whole torso, and also gave it a little bit more width overall, a little bit more mass through her body. But yeah, there we go. A bit of a before and after. I hope that helps, Ty. I love your work. I think you do an amazing job. And again, this is all you. I've just done a couple of adjustments here, some color adjustments and things like that. So, and the only other thing, like I said, I'd really love to see you refine your work a little bit tighter, as in like tidy up and like refine pretty much. We want to see these crystal clear. And if you did that, man, your work would be insane. It'd be absolutely insane. Really start to hone in on details a little more, because you've already got that realism kind of look and that painted style. I love it. I think if you started to, tidy it up and refine more, it'd be unreal. Absolutely unreal. So, yeah. All right, Ty. I'll leave it there. And thank you so much for your submission. That was awesome. Okay, time to get into the tier 4 critiques. If you want to know how that works, I've got 4 tiers on my Patreon, and this one's the bottom tier here, the tier 4. And being a part of this tier gives you one-on-one feedback from me and critiques. And because you guys get a lot of feedback through the month, I make these a lot shorter in the videos. So we're going to do like a before and after of what I've done in your critique. So this is Brett's submission, really awesome looking Harley Quinn here. And I thought this was really cool. I love what you've done there, Brett. Brett, here you go. This is what I've done for your critique. So there wasn't really too much to change. Originally, that's yours originally. And that's what I've done now. So it was really just I wanted to give her a larger head. I felt like the head was just a bit too small. I also tidied up the hand. I felt like it just needed to be a bit more refined and show those fingers a little bit more and where the bend goes and things like that. And I've also enhanced the red, and the black is more dense as well. So I felt like she needed to be a little bit more, the contrast between the colors, I really wanted that to be stronger, more vibrant. And yeah, I love everything else you've done. I think the line work is really great. I love that. I also made this ball over here a lot bigger. So before it was quite small and I wanted to match, in size. So I've made it a little bit bigger. And yeah, there's really not much else to say. I thought the anatomy was great. Your style is really shining here. You've got a really cool style. And I just think this looks really cool. I like it. I love what you've done. All right, next up is Cyril. This is your submission for the month. We're going to get into a bit of a critique in a sec. I'll show you a before and after of what I've done for you. I really like your Harley Quinn. She's cool. This is the one from Suicide Squad. You've got the daddy's little monster suit here with the tats and stuff. I always kind of liked that design. I thought it was cool. And like the tatted up kind of... All right, so let me show you what I've done. So this is what I've cleaned up just a bit, just to show you. I'll just do a little before and after. So before and after. Before and after. So basically, I just felt like, I know it's, and this is just a choice. I mean, this is your style, but I just took the breast size down just a little bit. I felt like it was just throwing the anatomy off just a smidge. And I kind of gave her, ribcage kind of comes out this way a little bit, but it's more this hip. I really wanted to have that hip up, as if she's really putting some weight on it as she's taking that step forward. So her hips up a bit higher. And I just thought that might work. Now the face as well. There was just 2 things with the mouth. So I thought that the black outlines are kind of faded off to more of a grey now. So they're lightened up a bit too much. So I darkened them down. And I also just wanted to just adjust that smile. I felt like the front teeth are coming out a bit too much. So I tucked it back in more. So I tucked it back in. And I thought I'd give her more of a cheesy grin. Just kind of keeping it simple a little bit more. And bringing that mouth back in a little bit. I also brought the chin up a little bit more. I felt like the chin was just coming down a little bit too low there. And the cheek, I kind of smoothed it out a little bit more. Just to keep it more simple. She needed just a bit more forehead and a bit more head overall up the top. And I also just realized that this blue here is coming through. Just here, we kind of need to fill that in because that's showing the background there. Needs to show there. All right, and I also made her eyes, so I felt like that eye was a bit small and that one was pushed over a little bit too much. So I just wanted to pull it back a little bit, and I adjusted the nose as well. So I kind of pulled the nose in a little bit more, and the hair, kind of just pulled that out and gave it a little bit more volume as well. But apart from that, I really like your hands. You've got really good hands there, and I got no faults on those. And this one as well with the gun, I thought the way it's gripping and everything looks really good. So that's solid work there. And yeah, the line work's really cool through here. It's nice and bold, stands out, looks good. I like her color tone and everything through her. She's really popping off that background. And yeah, I think that's probably about it there, I reckon, Cyril. So yeah, really good work. And yeah, thanks for your submission. All right, next up we've got Eric. You've done a cool Harley Quinn here. This one's really cool. And I like what you've done. You've kind of got the classic jester outfit here. And I really like your face. You've got a really, really good looking face there on Harley. I don't have any changes on that. I think it was really cool. I like the hand as well. Looked very cartoony, kind of cool style there. Let's get into the critique a bit. Now, my main issue is, I think, with the final touches you've thrown onto this image. So this was your final submission, but I actually really liked the one you sent just before this. I remember you put this in the Discord. So this is the one you submitted just before that. And then you've submitted the final one over the top, which is this. Now, I feel like the filter or something that you've put over the top has really kind of put a damper on the image. It's actually degraded it in a way, because it's, I don't know, it's giving it that rustic look. It's a bit more, I think it's the color tones and stuff. It's kind of lessening it for me. So this one that you submitted, I thought was really good. And I like the way you can really see your line work now. See your black outlines, and she's just standing out a little bit more. Whereas this one, you know, they're starting to hide and get lost now. They're getting lost with that filter. So let's stick with this kind of one. I think that's a better choice. And so I did a critique on this version, and this is what I came up with. I just really wanted to make your artwork shine more. So that's yours. That's your final one there. And this is kind of what I came up with. So basically, I simplified it more. I really wanted to show off your lines and just bring out them colors more. I feel like, again, there's too much color tones of that yellow, kind of distracting and taking away from your character, having these yellow blurs going over her. You see that? See that yellow kind of color tones that are splashed onto her? So I kind of removed those. And now you can really see her black and the red suit a lot clearer. Her skin's more of that greyish kind of pale tone that she has. And yeah, so I don't know. I just thought that keeping it more simple would be a better way to go. I could even do like a half and half. If I faded yours half back there like that, I think that works well. So it's a bit in between. But basically what that's done is really, it's bringing out your line work. I really wanted to have your line work shine. So that's the original there. And then that's the critiqued version. So the original and then the critique version. You see how she's more silhouetted, and you can actually see the pose a lot clearer, and it just pops out a little bit more. So there you go, Eric. I really like your work, and I think you've done a really good job. So yeah, thank you so much for your submission. All right, next up we got Jason, and here's your Harley Quinn. This one looks like it's the one from Birds of Prey, I think. I think it's that version. So earlier in the month you sent your original submission, which is this one, and that's to get checked through the month in Discord, and then I give it back with some feedback, you know, and I think I mentioned with the hands and things like that, I'd really like to see more definition, a bit more refined, and just things like that, you know, and the face, just some tweaks with the eyes and things. So yeah, that was your early check, and then this was your final submission that you sent for the end of the month. I know it's not fully colored, that's fine. You might not have had time, but we'll go with what we've got. And I like what you've done. You've got some really nice line work here. It looks very final, very polished off. So what I did with the critique was this. So that's before and that's after. So before and after. And one of the main things was I felt like this back arm needed to be tucked more behind her. So you see here it kind of pops out more and a little stiff. So if I just tucked it back, kind of looks like her chest is popping out more, and she's kind of got almost a little bit more foreshortening coming towards us, as if this arm is closer to us now. And she's also got a little bit more movement. I poked out her rib cage more, and her chest to come this way, and her bum's going out that way a little bit more, like she's stepping forward a little bit more. And I thought that would help. I also gave her a bit more of a smirk in her eye. And I've adjusted the angle so she's kind of chin up a little bit more and kind of looking a bit more cheeky, I guess. And that was about it, really. I think that's about it. Yeah, I really just wanted to bring that leg forward and have her stepping forward more. So yeah, awesome work, Jason. I hope that helps. And yeah, thanks for your submission. All right, last one. This is Jordan's submission. This is a really cool Harley Quinn. This looks awesome. So I think this is the video game version from Arkham, the Arkham games. And I'm a big fan of that too. I really like what you've done here. You've got more of a grungy kind of look, which is working really well for you as well. Yeah, I like what you've done. So let me show you what I did for a critique for you through the month. So with your final submission, I have done something like this. Now, that background doesn't have to be that light. I can take it down to more of a medium or light. Basically, if I went lighter, it's like you can see more of a silhouette of her. Her pose is reading a lot more, and she's more lit up. but if you don't want that, that's fine. We can take it to more of a medium. But basically the original I felt was very dark overall. So really, really dim and dark. If I zoom out, you can still tell there's a Harley Quinn there, but it just doesn't pop out as much, and it's a bit too dark and dulled down. So I basically wanted to enhance it and, you know, really make her pop, bring her out more, just a bit more contrast as well between her clothing and her skin. Even the hair, I lightened it all up. And another issue I thought was with the rim light that you've chosen. That blue is not really working for me. The blue is actually darker than the skin tone, and that shouldn't be the case with any kind of rim light. A rim light would actually have to be a lot lighter. So basically I just took that away and I replaced it with more of just a light to really put that rim light on and make it pop out more. Makes her pose pop a bit more. So, and I've enhanced her colors, so the red is now more red and popping out. I know that you've probably got more of a grungy tone and it didn't really need it too much, but I wanted to enhance it. Same with the black, and everything's got more of a dense kind of, you know, a less faded look. So I felt like it was the colors are just a little bit flat. So I brought them out and a bit more vibrant. I really like that tattoo you've got on there too. That looks cool. Yeah, but apart from that, it's all really just lightening up. Now, the only other thing was rendering on the face, the eyes as well, especially. I just thought that there was too much dark stuff going on inside the white of the eyes, getting it a little bit muddy in there. So it's just kind of, the rendering is just a little too soft. So I lightened it up so that it's a little more simple in just the white of the eyes. You still have shading in there. It's just, you know, they kind of show a little bit better now. And also I fixed the nostrils. I just kind of, before I kind of got rid of that line that comes down there, and I brought that line across out here. So you see I brought that line out here to really frame the nose, and then that nostril can be the one that meets down in there, just to make it a little bit more clearer. I also removed a few of these little lines that are detailing the nose. So I removed those just a bit more and replaced them with shading. And yeah, that's really about it. I think it was really just, you know, not making it so dark. So there is that lighter version of the background, and then without. I think I like it probably without, actually, to be honest. I think it helps that rim light pop a little bit more too. Yeah. All right. Thanks, Jordan. I hope that helps. And yeah, love your work. I think that's awesome. So thanks heaps. Thanks for your submission. All right, that was awesome. Really good to see everyone's submissions. So that's it for this monthly project. I loved seeing all of these critiques, and you guys that won, you did a really great job. So here's the comparison really quick. I really like what you guys did. I hope that this helps in some way, doing these critiques. So, and like I said to you guys, it's all your work. This is all your work. I'm just trying to point you in a direction. So I hope that seeing these few changes and adjustments to your work might help you visualize and point you in the right direction, pretty much. Because I think you guys are doing awesome, and you're all doing great as well. Everyone that submitted, I loved everything that I saw here. So yeah, really great work all round, everyone. I love what you guys did. So all right, well, that's it for this one, and thank you for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you on the next monthly project.